Hello and welcome everybody to another upcoming race. This is ALTTPR League Season 2. We are now in Week 2 and that means Ambrosia settings. So I'm looking forward to what these crazy settings have to bring. And joining me as my co-commentator today is Lin. How you doing?
Oh, pretty one. I'm doing great, and I'm looking forward to that game between Hitsuyan and Ursula. So those two players, I think, if I remember right, were here in season 1. So that's gotta be hype. I mean, Hitsuyan he's the returning champion, but Ursula was already there on another team, but they were there.
So they never got a chance to face each other last season, you mean, right?
I don't remember if they were in the same division. I would say so, because I remember playing Ursula at some point, and I know Hitsuyan was in my division as well. So they probably
Interesting.
played, actually.
Well, as Linlin mentioned, today we do have Hitsuyan playing for Team Sugoi, and we have Ursula representing Feline Paralysis. Oh, it looks like they're off. Boots are in the Dark World today.
It's pretty wide, not very precise, but can work around it quite a lot. Like, could be Catfish, could be... That Catfish is kind of bad. But we'll see how it goes.
Yep.
So we have 2 crystals already, like 2 red crystals, Eastern and Desert, and Hera is also a crystal, so that's pretty good, I would say.
Yep, and if you're watching, you do notice that they are doing the standard escape sequence. That's one of the changes in Ambrosia, along with that boots hint that they got from Uncle at the very beginning, and they start out with the sword.
Wow, and with the V31 changes, we have a few new changes with the price packs, and like the price packs remains the same, but the enemy they are on is different. And this time we have the bomb price pack on the green guards. I mean, on the guards in general, and also the ropes in the back of escape. So that's actually really good. They don't have to go out of the way and farm them if they were in another pack.
It's the prize pack that's only bombs, right? So they could farm up a whole bunch of bombs.
Yeah, definitely. Like farming 10 bombs already here wouldn't be that big of a time loss.
Alright, hitsuyan breaking out some of those NMG strats. Linlin, what do you think this mode favors? Do you think it favors people who have a bunch of NMG experience, or is it not that important?
It's just that the other component of Ambrosia is basically that every boss have an item that is not a dungeon item. So it's not going to be a small key for the dungeons that can have small keys on boss. It's not going to be a map or a compass, and like it's a lot of decision making around that, I think. And of course, your execution is going to help, but it's mainly playing around those, and especially independent dungeons. And we have a bow in this game that's actually pretty nice. We also have a glove already. I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I think I missed it too, but I'm sure our tracker is on top of things.
Pretty stacked escape so far. I think they like it was only items because we found the map already in the first test. I remember that one. And a mushroom as well, apparently, and a bottle as well. That's like no useless. I mean, the mushroom might be useless, but like it's just a bunch of good items right now. Like you really want that bottle before heading into Kakariko. I mean, gloves are always nice, obviously. Like that escape is pretty stacked. Even the bombs are very nice to have to do the backup escape without worrying too much about it and having to come back later. Because like with the new price pack changes, it can happen that in standard you cannot do the backup escape because the price packs don't have bombs at all.
Yeah, and it's always annoying to discover that. But at this rate, you know, they're gonna find flute in the back of escape, and then 300 rupees, and they'll be all set for Kakariko.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, the only thing we know that they're not gonna find is boots, basically, because that's in the Dark World.
All right, as the runners head into the dark rooms here, the game does give you a free light cone in standard for these rooms, so that it's not forced to place lamp in the beginning of escape.
Like those ropes right here are kind of nice, especially when you have the bomb drop, like it's did. You're just grabbing that 4 drop. I think going to 8 is kind of overkill. Like 6 bombs because you're gonna use 1, maybe 2. Actually, if you have a lot of bombs, it might be better to exit from the back of escape to directly towards Sanctuary. It's a bit faster. So you're using an extra bomb, but you have a lot anyways. So bombs are not really an issue at this point, and you only need 3 for CAC anyways. Or maybe 4 if you want to do the race game, but you're likely to find some more in CAC. That's the thing.
Ursula having to chase down that rat a little bit. And it looks like, and the rest of escape is not that much. I mean, blue mail is nice, but
Brumei is always nice. Oh, and the magic pack on the rats, that's nice as well. So you're living escape with full, I mean, a lot of bombs, magic, a glove, and a bow. That's pretty nice. No arrows though. I mean, there are a lot of arrows in Eastern, but they wanted to go right now. Would be a bit messy.
alright, hitsuyan looking to make his way over to Lumberjack. Ursula looks like they got out of escape maybe 20 to 30 seconds afterwards.
Yeah, like they had a bit of trouble, like with the red, but overall not that far behind. They both actually going for that. Oh, was that? What was that?
Looked like 20 rupees to me, but maybe
Okay.
Ursula will give us another look.
Yeah, 20 rupees. It was red. I thought for a second it was a game, but if Hitsu didn't spend a lot of time, I guess it was nothing very important. So quite just the time to play here, just going to Scopus. Not spicing it up a little bit. Like I see a few people or the hook shot. Especially with that hook shot. I see a few people actually doing Lost Woods and looping the other way to check Lemon Jack with the glove, but they don't have a glove apparently. It was another tracker. Sorry about that. So they don't have a glove, so I can get that they're not doing that play of going to Death Mountain already. So bow, hookshot, sword, bottle. A lot of equipment in this other game. Not even reaching CAC and having all that.
I mean, Hitsu has sort of this reputation of doing some weird plays or non-standard plays. Well, it looks like he's just doing the regular opening for now. Although he has found shovel and fire rod. It looks like so far.
So we potentially have in logic Armor's Knights here, given that the big key is not lamp locked in the big key chest. I mean vanilla, technically. that Eastern Palace actually looks very good right now. I'm getting some arrows as well before going to Eastern. Like even though Eastern has a lot of arrows, like I mean with fire rods, not even okay. Lamp. And oh wow.
This early game is so stacked. Okay, flippers too.
So what do I do? Where do I go now? It's basically that. Like I have so much to do right now. I mean, Eastern is like kind of a safe play at this point. Like it's a crystal. Like the only thing you might want, like, I think it's kind of greedy that you're just saying, "Hey, I'm just gonna wait for hammer and meteor so I can do pod and Eastern at the same time." Especially in that early
Yeah,
game.
or wait for green pendant too. But yeah, definitely a stacked beginning. I don't think Ambrosia seeds are usually like this, right?
Not really. I mean, you have that sword, that's nice, and then like we just out of CAG and we have so much progression right now, so much to do. Like Eastern, we can do the whole South Shore without leaving anything behind, and everything is in logic. I mean, we still need money for Zora, I guess. Oh, there's a Master Sword on the library that we know is locked behind the Dark World because booths are in the Dark World. So So if you were looking for a Nagasi, that's not your second sword here. Definitely.
But that is interesting to bring up. Like they've found all these items, but not a single item that helps them get to Dark World.
Alright. Was it gonna be South Shore or Eastern? I would say Eastern, like safe play here. You can like break it up a little bit, like with those flippers, by doing hobo on your way, so you don't have to do it later when you're like going to Ice Red Cave.
And then climbing up the stairs to go up to Eastern, you mean?
Yep. So basically, you're just checking Lake Hylia Island, going to Hobo, and then but you're still going to Eastern in the end. I think it's still save a bit of time to do that actually, instead of like swimming all the way up to Hobo from Ice Red Cave and then going back to the Zora area. And there's a glove and half magic as well, which we didn't really need, but still very convenient to have.
Well, that's definitely the first piece of the puzzle. Looks like Ursula's going over to do this mushroom check first, though.
About flippers, I think it's faster to saving with a Link's house instead of Sank, and then taking the whirlpool near the pegs for Hype Cave. It's faster than walking all the way from Sanctuary, especially if you have flippers.
Yeah, it
Like,
does feel faster. That's a long walk from Sank. But he's going to continue on. Looks like go back down to Eastern after this.
The first item in Eastern was just 5 rupees. So that's where the Ambrosia part come in place. Like, you can decide to, like, it's kind of easy if you get 2 items in the front. But yeah, the last item's on Armor's Knights anyways, so you can skip the big key chest. But like, I see some people making some decisions about that big key chest. Like, do I just go knowing, like, do I just skip it or not? I think it's quite early to be deciding to skip it, especially when it's in Logic with the lamp. If it wasn't in Logic, like if we didn't have the lamp but we have the big key, like maybe this seed is trying to tell you the logical progression is on Armus anyways, and like that big key chest is actually not in Logic, so like if I skip it, there's a chance I'm not gonna get burned. But with the lamp, that's kind of hard. I think we got the map right in the second chest.
No, we got 2 items already, so it's an easy decision for Hitsu. He found 2 items and then the big key and just go straight for the back.
That's where Ambrosia is sometimes cool. You just know. You don't have to waste time. Actually, taking some time to farm some money here. We don't see that room a lot in Rando, but I know like a lot of people actually don't know about it, but it has like 90 rupees, so always nice to get some money before going to the South Shore. I'm missing the Igor twice here, unfortunately. Having a bit of trouble with that Igor, and he's kind of low on health right now. And those Igor do like plain 1 heart of damage, if I remember correctly, even if you have red mail. You don't really want to die here.
Wow.
Getting bullied a lot here.
We'll see if Hitsu can make his way through this dungeon alive. Meanwhile, Ursula's following in his footsteps.
Oh, actually taking a death.
I guess
okay.
Oh, that's right. They picked up the fairy in this game.
I didn't remember what was that in that bubble, but yeah. Still, that's some kind of a time loss, I guess. I mean, especially maybe you want to keep that fairy for something else, but it's fine. We're fine. That's why it was kind of. You probably knew about it. It was kind of being reckless about not breaking the heart back then. Even risking the nothing in Eastern. I mean, but you got that glove from Sa's closet, so it's nice.
And here's an example of what happens to me when I do Ambrosia is that I forget the boss has an item and clear out more of the dungeon, and then halfway through I'm like, oh wait. So Ursula is doing a couple more checks here that, strictly speaking, are not necessary. So hopefully he remembers at some point not to do this with all the other dungeons.
Yeah, that there are definitely some dungeons where it can bite you. Eastern definitely being one. Desert doesn't hurt a lot, but still hurts a little bit. Hera can hurt a lot though with the basement, especially with that Hera bot tech that can save a lot of time in Hera. Like if you see the first item at the bottom, like you know the second item is just on Molotov and you just go.
Yeah, I tend to. Okay, Mitts in the dam, so that's another good find.
And mid-spell access is always kind of special, I would say. Like, especially when you already have flippers and the bow. Like, is the sea trying to tell you just go to pod right now and get your hammer? Pod is a very long walk, though. I mean, we still need to find that Moonpearl, but like, we still have a lot of spots left with Mini Morgan Cave and the Zora area. Problem is they don't have the money for Zora right now. Still not getting money for Zora, unfortunately. And you don't want to spend that much time farming it. I mean, what would you do? Like, you can still do Holy Hand, but like, for me, like, you have flippers, but you also have gloves already. So, like, if the progression was on Zora, why would the game give me flippers at this point? Somehow. So I can get the decision of not farming the money before going to Zora.
Yeah, would you check the rest of the locations and then just orphan Zora, or would you just?
Yeah, of course, obviously. Like I'm checking Hobo and Waterfall and even Zora Ledge, but at this point, farming money is just too much of a time loss. You're missing way too much. Like even if you do Holy Hand at this point, it's only 225. You're still not hitting the 500 required for Zora. And also, even if you barely get the money, if you're going to Village of Outcasts, if you're getting the pearl, you kind of want some money for the chest mini game and the digging game.
Alright,
I'm
but
not getting a lot of money.
it's looking more likely that our answer is up on Death Mountain. We'll see
That's
if
true.
maybe Agina has our pearl.
That's true. Like we have Death Mountain open. I'm actually surprised with that. The Zora play seems a bit early if you wanna like be a bit thorough and farm the money before doing that play. Especially with flippers, it doesn't take that much time to reach that whirlpool. Oh. That could potentially hurt Ursula a little bit, since they've already been to Gina. Was there anything on Desert Ledge? I don't remember.
It looked like a red potion.
Okay. Oh. Oh, actually not going for it.
What?
And there was that as well. Like, I'm not sure where Hitsuyan is going right now. To the mountain, I would say, by taking the whirlpool and then the other one. Which is a bit faster, I agree.
That does seem odd to not pick up the 300 rupees though.
Yeah, that like... I'm sorry for my teammate Illis. He literally made the same decision in week 1. And Zora had the flute. 300 were sitting on Zora Ledge as well. and yeah, like they decided to skip it and it burned in the end. Hopefully that doesn't happen in this seed for Hitsu.
I mean, it can be a case of muscle memory too, because when you go and look at that Zora ledge, you're really looking for some sort of unique item. And you just see some rupees, and you just kind of like, okay,
I mean,
I'll go away.
I think that loop is kind of annoying to do. Like, you have to go all the way around to grab 300, and then you have to loop again to get to Zora. That's a big of time commitment, kinda.
Well, it's also a big time commitment to come back to Zora too, though.
That's true. That's true. But at this point, you have the mountain open, so you might like think that your Moonbro is just gonna be on the mountain. But Ursula won't even have the choice there, because even with that 300, I don't think they're gonna hit the 500 required for Zora.
Yep, and we see those 90 rupees in Eastern Palace coming in there. But Ursula's gonna finish up these flipper checks. Pretty much doing what Hitsu's done, except they've also done Agina and the mushroom check.
I mean, here's the thing with the previous hobo play that I said earlier is could have gone to Ice Red Cave and save and quit from here and done mushroom into waterfall into Zora as well. Like the vanilla way, the way you're supposed to get the flippers in the vanilla game.
Only finding bombos and powder so far on this Death Mountain.
No sign of the Moon Pearl. And we only have one check left. I mean, we have Zora, and now we have Desert as well.
Yep.
Okay, so trick question is if the Moonbird is not here, you know the boots are in the Dark World. You have 2 checks here in the Dark World that you can do out of logic, but you still can do them. You do them. I'm talking about Super Bunny Cave, obviously. I mean, not obviously, but So yeah, the Moonbird is not here.
I'd be tempted to do it, but
I actually that's why I was asking the question. I was actually tempted to do it, Super Bunny here. One reason. Hitsu's next play is actually Desert, and if it's actually boots locked and the boots were just sitting in Super Bunny Cave, then you could have cleared it. That's the thing.
yeah, I don't know. I might be biased. That check would be doubly tempting to me because I get to do a glitch and I really want to find my boots as quickly as possible. So I would, do all my Dark World checks as soon as I could.
I'm usually not a fan of doing it, but knowing that the boots are in the Dark World, I might be tempted. I mean, sure, the like, it's a very low percentage, but it can still happen. It's a slow check overall. Since you're a bunny, you have to go through the stairs.
Yeah,
If you don't
no
have a mirror,
mirror.
you only have the hook shot. With a mirror, it's kind of a no-brainer, I think. You just go. It's not gonna go faster. But with hookshot, it's a bit tedious.
Do you think either of these runners are switching up their play given this matchup? I mean, Hitsu obviously a really good runner. I think he got second in the qualifiers, right?
Yes, he was second in the qualifiers in the main tournament. Don't remember where he got knocked out. I think it was.
Looks like the first round of brackets he lost to Trinix.
Oh, okay. But still, like top 64 is just like obviously very good. I mean, he has an execution advantage over Ursula for sure. But Rando is just Rando, right? Anything can happen. We've seen a lot of upset in week 1, and I don't think we're gonna see. We're not gonna see any in week 2. But yeah, that was a red goo on Desert Ledge. So we have, if Desert is not boots locked, then
I don't know.
one
If I was
item
Hitsu,
travelable.
I'd be regretting passing up Zora at this point.
Yeah, that's kind of like that's a coin toss. Here, like you have one item, or if it's boots locked, then if it's not boots locked, you have 2 items because one is a land move. Oh, okay. I mean, it's possible that we don't even the key's on the torch still, the big key. Okay, there's the moon pearl, so I guess he doesn't regret that choice. But yeah, you could finish Desert here if you get the big key right here. And no, it's boots locked, so you will need those boots for Desert.
All right, so it's a forced double dip of Desert. Logically, at least.
Okay, so going straight to that mountain. If the boots aren't super bunny, then I'm a genius. Very unlikely, but still can happen. Because like if they are in Super Bunny, like you could have not have that desert double dip.
I guess Hitsu's gonna check it right away now.
You're also gonna have a map check, I would guess. Yeah. Ooh. That pennant layout for a runner, is very gross. Like, Thieves Town and Skull Woods, especially when you already have the fire up, and TR. I mean, TR, you're okay with that, I guess, but Pennant Thieves Town and Skull Woods usually isn't something runners want to see at all.
Yeah, because they're among the quicker Dark World dungeons.
And especially when you have mids for Dark World access, like you're forced to take that Dark World entrance. And you know that there are items on those bosses because it's Ambrosia. So you just want to clear them, or like especially when you're missing hammer, it's kind of a hard decision. Unless the hammer is just sitting up there.
Now, for those wondering, these checks that Hitsu are doing could have the boots, even though the game differentiates between Light World and Death Mountain. In the Dark World, they're all considered the Dark World region. There's no Dark Death Mountain hint.
Still gonna have a check of that medallion here. Makes a lot of sense. And obviously, it's the one we have. Because when you need one, you don't have it. But when you don't want to go to a pendant dungeon, you always have the good medallion. That's not how render works, but that's how it feels a lot of times.
All right, looks like the runners are almost in sync again. Hitsu's just done the extra Dark Death Mountain checks, and they're both gonna head over to this.
Which led to nothing, actually. So
yeah,
that's good now for Ursula. But like, first big decision: do you go to Skullwoods or not?
getting the bad news.
Oh yeah, Ursula didn't know about this. Hitsu is going. Ursula not going. Already 5 visions, and I can get that, like Pendant Skullwoods. Also, kind of low on equipment, even though we have that half magic that helps a lot on Motala. Fire Rod is never fun, but half magic just makes it better with Fire Rod. You just use the Fire Rod because it just does a lot of damage, more damage than your Fighter Sword.
It could be that Ursula's thinking about just finding the boots as quickly as they can.
That's true. There's that as well, because you know the boots are not going to be in there. What an awful front of Skullwoods.
Nothing.
Nothing.
What did you say at the beginning? That the boots might be on Catfish?
I mean, yeah. So, you don't want the boots to be on Catfish. Actually, skipping on both items after checking an empty front of Skullwoods. Very interesting decision from Hitsu.
He must have gotten disgusted.
Oh, looks like we might need the cape in that seed.
I was fully expecting the boots to be up there, and then we would have no idea how to get it, negating that hint.
Like, yeah, definitely going for the boots on Ursula's side, like skipping Peace Town like this. Kind of a bold play already. I'm kind of always confused about that Smith. I think the Smith jet is actually considered Light World because you're getting the item.
I'm pretty sure they're both considered Dark World.
Are they? I remember reading something like this about one being the Light World and one being the Dark World.
Yeah, I think people get confused because you get the item in the Light World, but it's actually considered a Dark World location. Hitsu's gonna at least show us the front of Thieves Town here. Maybe he'll find no items and also skip the back.
I mean, small key is not nice because it means that the dungeon is not hammer locked. Wow.
And as usual with seeds where you get a lot of progression up front, it's dried up quickly here.
So yeah, I think you kind of committed to do like skip dungeons on Ursula's side. So you are going to the pyramid and to Catfish. What do we even have left in the Dark Hole now? Mire Shed?
After Catfish, yeah, we have Mire Shed, Hammer Pegs, Purple Chest. I think that's it. Spike Cave.
Spike Cave.
Hitsu only finding one item in the front of Thieves' Town. He's gonna continue on his way.
Yeah, that's where it gets tricky. Like, you got that small key in the front as well, meaning that the dungeon is not hammer locked. I know there's an item on blind, but with 3 items in the front, you kind of guessed that there was an item on blind already. Thieves' Town is a green pendant, though. Like, that might be a good incentive to go to blind. Maybe.
Nah, I'm going for my boots. I can come back after I get my boots.
Yeah, definitely. Like, going for the boots, like, definitely not a bad play at this point. Especially, like, it kind of unlocks to see a little bit. Like, there's an item on Landmo. That could be the hammer. That would be gross, but that could be that could be the hammer. I mean, you also have like the boots check, Bonk Rocks, King's Doom.
Hitsu's not going to be taking the blacksmith. It makes me think that he might be trying to dive into pod.
Yeah, that's definitely. I think what. Oh, they are the old catfish.
Oh, you cursed them.
Oh, sorry. That's an interesting play Hitsu can do to like make it efficient by checking those dark hole spots while heading towards Spot. Is to take that whirlpool around Dark Ice Shut Cave, heading up to Catfish, and then running this time towards the pyramid and going to Pod. So this way, like, he doesn't skip those 2 dark hole spots. But given the direction he's going to right now, I'm not sure if he's gonna do that or if he thinks about it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he's thinking that pod is a very long way away from any of his start points. So he doesn't really want to pass it up and have to come back.
But that's the thing. Like, if you take the whirlpool to Catfish and then go to the pyramid, you did those 2 dark hole checks. He's not going to Pod. Okay, that makes sense then. Like, gonna get the boots, but the boots didn't get them anything right now. They get them a master sword though, if they don't forget about it.
Oh, Ursula didn't do sick kit? Okay, I missed that.
They have boots, but they didn't lead to anything. So what do you do now? Oh, that leads to a lot. That probably gonna hurt Itsu a lot, though, because now Ursula has access to the Mario area. Didn't forgetting about the sword. I see on the library. Hopefully they remember.
Or maybe activating the flute first. But yeah, Hitsu's gonna probably need to have the mirror to give him an incentive to check out Blacksmith.
Unless he gets super bottlenecked into it. But I can see Hitsu going to pod before doing that smith. Okay, not forgetting about the other sword. And I would guess that they are heading. I mean, I think it would personally kill Anbolus here. You know it has an item. And with the flute, it's kind of easy to get to. Even though you don't have a mirror and you have to go through desert.
Yeah.
Also gives you the other 5 crystal, even though technically you still need the mirror for it to be in logic and killing Aga. But you can still sequence break that by bomb duping it. It's actually going to pod. See what if it was faster to take the whirlpool, go to Catfish, go to the pyramid, and then go to pod in one trip.
Well, Ursula is really focusing on these overworld checks. Picking up purple chests.
Still not doing anything, not touching Tista, not going to Skullwoods, going straight for the purple chest, not doing anything on the way. Meanwhile, we have new information on Hitsu's side. The first chest of pod. I mean, we have a bow. Hammers way too many times in pod as well, but with that flute, I don't know. The thing about that flute is that, yeah, we have Maya shed, but unless we find the cape, we're not gonna be able to get both items in Mire. So that's actually only 3 items in the Dark World. I mean, in that area that you can get. Yeah, completing desert. I kind of get that, even though like it would be faster if you get the mirror and then wait for the mirror and do it. But you know there's an item on Manmo.
So we're about 45 minutes in. Looks like we're still looking for, wow, hammer, mirror, cape.
And the cape. Yeah, hammer, mirror, and the cape.
And then possibly a medallion.
Fortunately, no mirror, no hammer. Having to take a death warp here. He lost that very early, so it's not gonna get trolled by it.
Alright, Ursula going straight for Lanmo. I hope this means that they've remembered about the Ambrosia settings after that little detour in Eastern.
I mean, they didn't open the big chest, so they know. Like, you have the Moonflower already. That's the second item on Lanmo. Or did they? And I didn't see it. And we have a lot of growth spots. Like Hitsu, before, if he doesn't get the mirror and that the mirror is like behind that flute somehow, like I can see Hitsu going to Ice Palace, for example, without hammer. Or with hammer if he gets it before doing Smith.
You.
Yeah. Like at this point, you kind of isolated it. If your objective was to go to pod to begin with, that's kind of understandable. Oh.
Vanilla hammer. Meanwhile, Ursula is picking up their second crystal after taking down Lambo.
Yeah, Venom Hammer with mids for Dark Access always grows. At least they have boots, so they can go to pot quite easily. Easily, not really, but gonna have to do that at some point.
Alright, Hitsu's looking for one more item. Or no, he's found all the items already. He just needed another key to get to.
Yeah, he knows. I mean, I think the first one was the map, and so only the compass remaining right now. Since it didn't have the mirror, I didn't see the medallion for mine. Actually,
Yeah, I missed it.
I'll probably double check that. I want to know if we also need a medallion. And let me pull out the bots. I mean, right now they're just like Hitsu is going to Hamazor. It's gonna take a while Ursula's doing what Hitsu already done, which is Dark Mountain.
Alright, our tracker telling us that it is ether. So they
So
will need that. Yeah, so after these checks, Ursula is going to have to choose a dungeon to dive into.
I mean, they haven't died any of them so far. Not touching T-Zone, not touching Skullwoods, and Pod is very out of the way at this point. Meanwhile, Hitsu will have a very awkward choice to make. I mean, it's kind of obvious, but he will go to Ice Palace, right?
Yeah, I mean he could do desert first, but I think might want to try to find Mirror and Ice Palace first.
Like you could also go to Hera, but that's still a long way for two items because he doesn't have that Master Sword. He didn't pick it up yet on the library. But you want that extra sword before going to Hera, so you can check the tablet. So before going there, I can see him making the detour to get it. I'm pretty sure Ursula doesn't have the knowledge of the cane as well.
Yeah, I think that's right. So Hitsu's taking his second crystal and going to...
I think making that detour for sword at this point. I mean, you have half magic, it's not that bad. Okay, boots checks. To getting the sword, I guess. I guess you have also that powder, since you have the hammer now, and then getting the sword before Ice Palace, maybe? Because do you want to actually go back to Vijayratkas at this point? Not really. You can, like... I just thought about it. You do the boost check and you take the Whirlpool to Ice Palace. There's that as well. And I think that's shorter. And that's very efficient here.
He can do a magic bat check though if he goes and picks up his sword.
It seems. Seems like a nice mouse play.
Alright. The seed gave you a pretty bad decision though, right? You either keep the blacksmith and get your flute, or you ditch him that first time to get your hammer.
That's very bad. Ursula actually, I'm not sure actually. If they like want to go to pod or they just like they skip scuttles. That's one thing. Okay, now they have the cane knowledge. Given the direction they're taking, I'm assuming they're going to pod.
Does look like it, so they'll be pleasantly surprised.
That's gonna be very good for them. Like, Ursula definitely gonna have an edge here by having the flute and the hammer. Having done desert as well, probably gonna head into Ice Palace as well. I would say after pod. Like Hera, like I said, Hera is kind of very far at this point.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that extra climb for 3 items. I don't think. Pyramid Fair is open now, though. There's also that they can do.
What do you think of their positions right now? Like, if you were in their position, would you think that you're ahead, or?
Hitsu definitely think he's ahead because Hammer and Pod with Mitch without Productions is always gross. But after finding that hammer, I think Ursula would think they're in a good spot as well. Like, you definitely feel ahead in both of the position. Like, hammer in Pod is just big, but if you find both, you're definitely like
Yeah. Because
feeling
like
very
if
confident.
the smith chain was empty, then you'd be like, oh, well, my opponent, came to pod first, and where I wasted a bunch of time.
It also will depend on where the mirror is gonna be for Ursula. If the mirror, okay, that's a nice sword. If the mirror is free, kinda, you would guess that Hitsu did Smith's Chain kind of early. But if the mirror is not free, then you can basically like think that you're in a good spot because they didn't do the Smith's Chain, but they went into pod. Or the other way around.
Ursula's gotta let go of that fairy there, I think.
But as you said, the game doesn't give you a good choice here. Like you're just ditching the smith and not get your flute, or you just go to pod and get the hammer. The flute didn't lead to anything so far, so
Alright, Hitsu did find both items in the right side of Ice Palace, so he's went straight for Cold Stare here.
sword is always nice before heading to bolster. I mean, you have a fire rod and house magic, and I think they also have a blue goo. So that fight's not gonna be very hard. Over. Oh. So we're missing a mirror and a cape. Don't have much left though, aside from dungeons. Like you have 3 item thieves down, plus Green Bandit, 2 item in Skullwoods, and where it hits is going, the of Hera. And did that bit. I guess we have amber bags as well in Logic.
Yeah. It looks like it's just doing the strategy of just knocking out the crystal dungeons here.
I mean, you escaped on both of them already. I'm part of it. Like, I won't say team, but like the people that if I skip something, I'm not going back for it until I did all the other stuff. Until I'm basically bottleneck into it. So going to her here makes sense. If they don't find anything, I can see them doing desert into perimeter. I think would make the most sense. Before going back to Bridge of Outcast and committing to those pendants and Smith.
Yeah, it can be hard to tell though, because sometimes you skipped it early, but then as you start to run out of checks, you have to kind of make a call of, well, if my opponent also skipped it, then it's gonna come down to whoever comes back first. And in that case, you don't want to put it off until the very end. But yeah, it's difficult.
So, going for the hairbud here. Don't remember what was in the basement, but didn't grab them because we didn't have a map or a compass. You're dropping here, so we'll see if there's an item in the basement. We know there's an item on Moldorm. Okay, so both items here, which is good. The small keys in the basement, that's nice.
But it looks like the answer's not here.
I can see the decent play though now with the hammer. That's that as well. There's a reason you didn't go to the back. Not because it's a pendant, but because you didn't have the hammer. So it was basically a forced skip here because you didn't want to go without the hammer. Like there are sometimes you make decisions because you think it's bad, just slow. But this time, like, it's a pendant, but also you don't have the hammer, and you're probably leaving something in the basement. I mean, in that big chest. That's why you skipped it in the first place. So, like, going to these down, even though you skipped it once, I can see that happen. Okay, so we're gonna have a spy cave check here. Don't think that's in logic. You will need some invincibility item for that to be in logic, but you're here, so there's no reason not to do it, especially with that Google. The useless medallion. Not nice to have. But when you don't have that minor knowledge, I guess it's fine. Okay, Link's house, so I'm guessing that's the desert play. Here.
Alright, Ursula in this Helmasaur King fight. Gonna tie it up with 4 crystals, but Hitsu's probably gonna get a quick 5th crystal here.
At this point, what item do you want to find first? I would say mirror. Find the cave. Suddenly TR opens. you don't really want that. You want that cave to win some battles, right? I mean, obviously you're doing Maya first if you have the flute, but like, I guess if the cape is flute locked, that's gonna be good for Hitsu. But if the cape is just sitting somewhere accessible, I can see Hitsu going for Tiara before doing the Smith.
Well, we still have Zora open.
That's true. That's true. That's something they skipped very early. Forgot about that one. What? We don't have a lot left aside from those pendants right now, and Pyramid Fury and Zora. It's kind of hard to say what the progression is gonna be, but whether it's the cape or the mirror that opens a lot, like cape would just give us the whole TR minus Trinex. But we know Trinex is an item, so that's only 4 items if we don't find the ice rod on the way.
Actually, well, they do have Mire, at least the front of Mire open, so one item there.
Yeah, there's 1 item in Mire, true. While the mirror is just being the mirror and opens like Zompalas, K45, Gravel's Ledge. What else? A lot. I think that's the Pyramid Fairy play here for Hitsu.
Yep, that was Hitsu's 5th crystal, so he's up 5-3 now.
It's still ahead, but that flute might be problematic for sure. If there's nothing in Pyramid Fairy, what do you do next? You have to commit to one of the
I would do Thieves Town into,
Thieves Town into
at least part of the Smith chain.
He left 2 items in Skullwoods as well.
3
Never
items.
feels good.
And plus the green pendant.
I mean, in Skullwoods it's only 2, but that's 4 items in Thieves Town that you left with green pendant.
Oh, alright.
Ursula getting the Tempered Sword here in the Vendor Big Chest of Ice Palace. Gonna be great for Cold Stare. Well, Hitsu is getting nothing from Pyramid Fairy. I mean, if Mirror is a progression at this point, like it's gonna help Hitsu a lot because she's gonna do that Smith chain with the mirror. But if it's the cape, then that's just bad. Because at this point you're already thinking DR, I think.
Yeah, so you could get 4 items from DR.
Four
Hitsu
items without
finally picking up the sword.
Yeah, 4 items. Each finder is worth 5, but that's kind of harsh. I think we have seen the. Well, no, we haven't seen powder yet. Also, I didn't have the hammer.
Yep, Ursula having no problems with Cold Stare either.
Getting that ether medallion for Meyer. Opening yet another check, but I guess Hera doesn't look bad as well. I can see Ursula just going there. Especially when like you skip those pendant items for those pendant dungeons for so long. It's no way you're going there. This one first for Hitsu.
I'm gonna laugh if this comes down to both runners last locationing Zora.
Actually funny because they still don't have the money for Zora.
You just gotta pick up that money on Zora Ledge. The game's giving it to you.
Right, so new information from Itsu. Thief's Attic. I would say like checking Zora with blue is not that long anyways, but they already skipped it once, so I can get away. Especially when you don't have the money, you just don't want to go. If they get the money, I can see them like considering it. But as long as they don't have it, like it's kind of a no-brainer, like that they didn't go yet. So we have an item in that big chest. Let's see if Hitsu's decision of not going will pay off or not. I mean, Ursula skipped it, but Hitsu just waited to get the hammer before going there. Oh. Wow.
Alright, I think he's feeling pretty good about himself now.
Yep. Unfortunately, that cave kind of pulls him off Smith. Because you know you're getting a cane here. And the only thing the cane opens right now for Hitsu is Turtle Rock. But that's definitely big. Okay, not a mirror, but a green pendant. So do you just go to TR at this point? Or do you commit to the rest of what's in Outcast, which is... I mean, you're checking Hammer Pegs, I guess. But I don't think you're doing Smith. But Hammer Pegs is not that slow of a check.
Yeah.
But doing Smith here is kind of a big commitment. I mean, going to Pen and TR is as well, so we can see Hitsu doing Smith chain as well.
I think you kind of want to metagame it at this point. If you're Hitsu and you know you have this execution advantage, then you want to try to cover the checks that you think your opponent could have done earlier, which is definitely not pendant TR.
It's grabbing the Smith, though. It's gonna be a very good position right here after getting the king.
Can you take the blacksmith into the bumper cave?
That's a good question. I actually think you can't.
Yeah, I think it's a multi-entrance cave. So the blacksmith will say, no, no, no. But it's gonna work out for him in this case.
Works in entrance, but doesn't work in open standard. Unfortunately, it's gonna pay off big. It's gonna pay off really big. You're going to mire here, and you're clearing that mire.
Yeah. Is it true? It does work in entrance? I don't think I knew that.
Works. You can take the smith anywhere in entrance. For intermission, entrance week is week 5. So if you want to take your smith anywhere in entrance, you can. Like, you can take him into dungeons. You can clear dungeons with smith. If it's a pendant, you get to keep him. But if it's a crystal, you're losing him. Because the crystal cutscene is considered... it's linked to the past, right? But obviously, either way, if you're doing these down, you're losing the smith, because you're getting another follower that is blind.
Alright, so we're expecting Hitsu to go straight for Mire. It looks like Ursula's right on his heels as well. He's gonna pick up his... Yeah. He's gonna pick up his cape and cane and then most likely just go for Mire as well.
Not really far behind, still a little bit. I don't know if they're gonna commit to... I mean, you don't have mirrors, so at this point you just commit to blind, I think, to get out of these down. I can see people, if they have mirror, that leave after getting the cape. It's okay, right? It opens quite a bit. I mean, we know we have like 6. I mean, we already had Meyer, but Ursula didn't go. But we have like 6 checks open, but by that cane, kinda. That Aurora will be willing to go too. So Meyer, you also know if you're Hitsu, you also know that you can open it anyways because you have all 3 medallions. We're not very worried about that play. Like, not bothering checking the medallion. Getting that
First frame dash.
First frame dash. That's kind of, I wouldn't say risky, but like you want those sword beams for Meyer. So, like, I sometimes you don't want to risk it, or if you know you're not gonna make it, you just stop, right? Because you want those sword beams for Maya too. It's just convenient. Fast clearing that room.
Alright, so we're looking for one item and the big key in the front of Misery Mire. And going straight to Vitreous.
So that's where Ambrosia also comes into play here. In Icehost as well. Like Colster and Vitreous are the only bosses that can have their own small key for the dungeon. There's also Moldorm as well, I guess. But like, now you know that it also add a lot into the logic of the dungeon. You know, there's not a small key on Vitreous, so like, it kind of restricts a little bit the item position here, especially the big key. Knowing that you're gonna get those 3 keys that are that one of them is not gonna be on Vitreous, so big key. I think big key has a higher chance to be on the Firelock side just because of that. Because if there's a small key on Vitreous, like that Firelock side cannot have a small key. But hey, Vicky is here. Going straight for Vitreous here. I mean, that's not that bad of a play. You already have a small key, so like going back's not gonna hurt a lot. I mean, you want item for go mode anyways. Right. But if the mirror is not on Vitreous, you're definitely going back. Because your choices are kind of bad at this point anyways. Like, it's Skullwoods or TR. Or Zora. Never forget about Zora.
Alright, Ursula's following Hitsu.
I think we have Green Pendant as well. They haven't checked that, because obviously they got Cape and Kane. So you don't, like, you already got some piece of progression, so you're just following it instead of going for that out of the way check at this point.
And nice spooky action by Hitsu, saving a little bit of time.
Didn't quite get the one cycle, but was still a nice first phase from Hitsu. 0 cycle, I mean. And not the mirror. You are going back. Your only choices right now are very bad. Like, one is something you already skipped, Skullwoods, and like you don't want to do that extra climb for nothing. But at this point, I can see the mirror just being in TR, but we'll see what they decide to do if the mirror is not in Mire.
Alright, let's see the items on the right side here.
No, it's guaranteed being in the Vendor Picky chest. It's guaranteed there. Because the small key cannot be there. And we already have the map and the compass and the other item. But by logic, it's 100% up there. It's a nose. Oh, he doesn't know. Yeah, by logic, it's 100% up there. Because the small. I mean, I guess with the big key being where it was, it actually has a chance. Actually, my bad.
Oh yeah.
With the big key being exactly here, but if the big key was somewhere else, then it was guaranteed to be in the other chest, in the Vendor Biggie chest. But it is. Unfortunately.
What a rude dungeon layout.
It's a very rude dungeon layout. Very, very rude. Especially for an ambassador seed.
Oh, and Ursula's gonna check this right off. A little bit of a high five by the runners here.
Very slow room. Fortunately.
Some sort of progression, I guess.
I mean, that's gonna be very nice for Ursula to have for Vitreous, for sure. But now we are down to very bad choices. I mean, one is kind of obvious. I think you're just turning it like Green Pendant. And then, what do you do?
Well, the other thing is Hitsu knows that those two items in Skullwoods won't take that much time. It's because he doesn't have to search the front anymore.
I think you're going to Skullwoods. You're definitely doing the rest of the checks before committing to TR. Especially if you find like an ice rod in those checks. Going to the mountain. I see. I can get that. Like you skipped those. You like, especially Skullwoods, Hitsu decided to literally skip that after checking the front. Still don't have money for Sora.
All those rupees must be hoarded by Ganon in his tower or something.
I can't believe after 1 hour, 25 minutes, and 30 seconds, they still don't have money for Zora.
Alright, the two runners tied up on dungeons. See who finds a mirror first. If I'm looking at the two teams here, it looks like Hitsuyan's team came out with a 2-0 record in week 1, whereas the Feline Paralysis, they happened to lose both their races last week.
It's tough. I mean, every division is kind of tough. Team Sugoi is the champion season 1, so obviously they kind of have an edge.
Yeah, I would say they're probably one of the favorites to make the playoffs in this division, though.
Yeah, definitely. Like losing the lane was big of a hit, but adding Ramon instead of the lane, like that team's still strong. And there's the mirror in TR, and we are in go mode.
All right, so TR was the player.
Kind of nice that it was only in the front and not in the back. So, if I get it right, you have to get your hammer from Pen and Pod to to get your cave from Teeth and Big to get the cane, so you can get the mirror. And like, if you don't have that flute at this point, you're kind of screwed because you're either going further deep into TR or you're just trying to think that your flute is just sitting in Swamp Palace. So if you don't get your flute before getting your cane, you're a bit screwed, I think. But I guess you're doing Smith Chain after Swamp, but that's still. I mean, the cane itself is not that big of a like. Sure, it unlocks the TR if you don't have the flute, but you don't really want to commit to it. So like, Hitsu did. I completely agree of the decision of not committing to TR yet, but doing something else. Got rewarded with the flute.
All right, Ursula, head into the back of Skullwoods to try to find those 2 items.
And from Hitsu's point of view, like you don't really need more for JT. Like tempers enough, silvers are nice. There's nothing more that you really need. Like, of course, butter would be nice, but you're not actively looking for it. Definitely.
Yeah, he definitely shouldn't open up any more chests at this point. He's gotta. I need those fantasy points.
Oh wow, the front was completely empty. Both items are in the back. Like, if like seriously, from both runners, right? If you just commit to Skullwoods, to the back of Skullwoods, the moment you enter the Dark World, you actually literally save time by getting both items and not checking the front. That's a nice Skullwoods. And yeah, you also have knowledge that, I mean, you have both items, which we know are nothing, but still knowledge that your progression is not going to be there, and you don't have that in the back of your mind. Actually, quite surprised that Ursula's going for Motora first, knowing that there's an item down there.
Alright, that is Hitsu's 7th crystal. So it's time for us to start that GT Big Key guessing game. Put in your guesses up between 1 and 22 of where Hitsu's gonna find that big key.
I see our tracker and our streamer already taking my picks, and I don't like that. I like 7 and 8 myself. I'm gonna go for 14 then, for no reason.
Ursula's getting the bad news.
Is there one item in I mean, I'm pretty sure Hitsu didn't get anything in the front and just left. Even though he had the fire rod. Yeah, there's an item down there. I'm actually surprised you go for that first, but I guess you're saving quitting out of there, so that's just one trick you're not gonna do. But if it's the mirror, then you are not saving quitting.
I was just watching Hitsu having some problems with those dead rocks.
Hey, that's the other invincibility item. Still, oh, they haven't done Pyramid Fairy yet, so I can see, yeah.
Yeah, here's where Ursula's routing is coming back to bite them a little bit, because they orphaned some spots like in different places in the world. So they're all kind of not such great options.
Two small keys in Hope Room. I don't think you see a lot, but happened. Right, so that's 2. Got 4 more here in Compass Room. Don't think Hitsu's going all the way right. I mean, nobody does that. Sometimes you just do that because you feel behind, but I don't think Hitsu feels behind. Like, he had a pretty solid route. Especially... Wait, oh, that's the Battle Sword. So that's 3. Especially waiting for that hammer and, like, going to T-Town after getting the hammer and getting the cave for the cane. Just, like, I think you feel good about it. And doing the Smith Chain after that also adds more. Like, after getting that...
The pod play, too.
Yeah, the pod play was definitely very good. Like, he got the boots and still went straight to pod after that.
Let's see if he can get Zora money here.
Where are the 300s though? Like, did they even get one? There's one on Zora Ledge, we know that.
I don't remember them getting any. They would have had a lot more money at this point, I think. But this looks like a play by Ursula to go up to Turtle Rock.
And at this point you only have Zora. Anyways, and you don't have the money for Zora. You just go. I guess that's Spike Cave as well, that they skip. And that, I bet that's where they're going right now.
So I think that was 13, right? We're coming up on check 14 over here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I usually don't count them. But that feels good. Oh, that's 300. We have Flora money, and that's the big key. 15.
15. Congratulations to Paul the Black for guessing the closest.
Yep. Congratulations, you get 8 points on the leaderboard.
If you like what you're seeing, go ahead and give these runners a follow. They've been going through this kind of rude seed, I would say.
It was very rude, especially that flute is super rude. Flute and hammer are super rude, definitely.
Even that cape is, yeah. And I think a lot of runners would have gotten tripped up by that last locationing it or something.
I mean, definitely, especially when like, if you follow the logic, if you're getting the big key, it's very early. By very early, I mean not in blind cell. You're tempted to say, hey, that dungeon is not hammer locked, and that's also the green pendant, so I might be just tempted to just clear it.
Yeah. I mean, they only found one item in front, so you only have this possibility of leaving just one item behind.
As well. There's that as well. I mean, if you don't do that pot play like right away, when Ursula went back to pot quite quickly, but like before going back for that tour, like running since they had boots, you might be tempted to do the things that are on your way, so you don't leave anything behind before committing to a hammerless pod. Because I think you're more likely to commit to a hammerless Thieves Down, Pendant Thieves Down than the hammerless Crystal Pod.
Yeah, I know I would have. Ursula in go mode, about 140. Probably hoping at this point that Hitsu left behind that cape, but we know that's not the case.
I mean, there are a lot of like tricky items. Nonetheless, I got to. That pattern was kind of bad, and this one is even worse. Yeah, it's literally needed one hit, so doesn't even matter on this one. But those two last patterns before the last one, they were just bad.
Alright, all that Hitsu's gotta do is just take down the big pig.
Quite a lot of equipment for that. I don't think they're gonna have any trouble. Like butter, silvers, a lot of hearts, blue mail. Not like you're gonna hug Ganon a lot anyways. Even if you hug him once. Not even an issue. Like first two phases with butter are just easy.
On to phase 3.
And that's a double, and that's a big down.
Alright, get your GGs in chat for a Hitsuyan. Crossing the bridge and finishing in first place with a time of 1:43:15.
GG Suitsu. Very solid run overall. Like, don't think there were a lot of routing mistakes. I mean, I hope we're gonna talk to him about it.
I think the seed presented you with a lot of options to make routing mistakes. But he nicely avoided most of them.
Alright, we are joined by Hitsu. GG Hitsu.
GG's.
Yeah, that was a pretty solid route given that the items were in like very awkward spots.
That was so lucky. To be honest, I don't know. Old Hitsu would do the seed in 2 hours and a half.
But that, like, we talked a lot with 31, but I think the rudest item was actually the cape.
Yeah, I forgot that every time that I cannot go with the smith to the bumper cave. That was, I think, lucky for me. But, and I don't pick the smith up early because I was really sure something is in pot, because I saw a race before there was also a loaded pot. Yeah. Why not?
So, did you even consider not going to pot after getting the boots?
No, I planned normally to go to pot first, but then I went already up and was thinking, yeah, boots are in the dark world, and I have only 2 spots left, I think, or 3. With Maya Shed 4.
Yeah, Maya Shed, Spike Cave were the spots left, I think.
Yeah, and I was hoping that Maya is maybe Quake. Because I found Quake with the bottle and without. Some people don't do this check if they don't have cape or burner.
Yeah, but I think it would have taken you a long time to get back to Smith's chain if you hadn't made that mistake, though, right?
Yeah, I had cleared Maya first, and then probably Skullwoods after. That's the only thing I avoided, back of Skullwoods, the mid of Skullwoods.
I was actually pretty surprised by your decision because you cleared the front and you knew that both items were in the bag or locked by the bag, but you still didn't.
Yeah, that was strange. I don't wanted to go there, but muscle memory, and then I went up to Skullwoods and checked the front.
Like,
and then I said, fuck it, I don't go in the mid and up now.
I mean, it paid off, but like,
Yeah, sometimes I don't do the right things. Normally you have to do it if you go there. Do the boss first, of course.
and like Ursula checked the back of Skullwood, but literally, if you went to Mortala and checked the bridge, you would have been faster to check the front because the both items were like obviously there's one on Mortala because it's Ambrosia, but the other one was just in the bridge chest in the back.
Yeah, so Ursula did the front and then got the vanilla big key and then went back and checked the big chest and there was nothing.
Yeah, sometimes I did weird things because I'm rusty playing a lot of World of Warcraft at the moment and got a new player too, but that's no issue today. The player was good, I think, only on some points. But the bomb jump was sick in pot, and then there was the hammer, man.
Vanilla hammer, like. I mean, I can get like you're already.
What happened to the other one?
They actually had flute pretty early and went back to pot pretty early as well, but like you definitely have an execution advantage. That's the thing. But there's also like they orphaned a few things that they had to come back to later in the game.
Yeah, so it just took them longer to go for the Turtle Rock play. Especially they did all of Skullwoods first.
Yeah, I was also thinking about maybe Pet could also be a play at the end of the that the Ice Rod is in Turtle Rock or something. And
That's
I
the
left Skullwoods, that was not, I don't know, that was not good, I think. I had only 2 checks left there and could do that.
By the way, did you notice that you had money for Zora when you got into GT? You never had money for Zora in this seat. You never had it.
That was the 300 rupees I said also, fuck it, I don't go the whole round and then go again. No. Not today, guys. I don't know. What is the right play to pick up the money and go to?
It depends. You still have the entirety of Death Mountain at that point. I can get where you didn't get that to do that loop. Right. Yeah, I can get where you decide not to do that loop to get to 300 to check Zora. But even before going to TR, that's a bit of a sensible play because like if the Ice Rod is there, we know it's not in Skullwoods anyway, so the Ice Rod could have been on Zora as well. And that the mirror could have been like either on Trinex or on the pedestal at this point if the Ice Rod is free.
Yeah.
But hey, it was just in the front of TR. But also, like, still, I mean, I know you made them, like, you took the Smith with you, but, like, even if you get the cane, like, committing to Pen and TR is still big, so I can get why you did Smith Chain first. But I would say that the decision is kind of harder if TR would have been a crystal instead. Like, you would kind of be tempted to skip Smith at this point.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like your team is doing the second race this week on Saturday, I want to say. Have any thoughts for how you think that's going to go?
I think we can make it. I hope.
That's also Ramon's first race in League in general, right? it's Raman that's playing, or is it Yoshi?
Yeah, Ramon.
All right.
I think he win this one. But I'm hyped for the other weeks, cross keys and miss. That's more fun.
Have you tried doing some spoiler Christianity co-op already?
Yoshi and Raman did a lot of spoiler,
Are you
but
gonna
I never did.
Did you already decide like who's gonna play in the rest of the the weeks, or did you just decide on the spot like who's available at that point? And
Yeah, we
also
do 2 times that Ramon is reading the log and me and Yoshi are running.
okay.
Okay.
Because
mean,
they trained already that Ramon is reading the log and Yoshi is running. And I don't think I need to train with Ramon the same thing. So if he can read the log good, I only need to run this, and that's fine.
you are a full German team. That's gonna be easier for like communication and stuff. Obviously, like it's easier.
I think it's easier to run.
Yeah, but like
Because you
communication.
do this every time, and the other thing, you did that in no times. I never did a spoiler reading that, and I need 1 hour probably to read the log.
Oh, did you not compete in the spoiler tournament? I thought you were in that.
So one time I tried a daily, and I needed more as the 20 minutes that you have at the start, and then
Isn't
I
it
had no
15 even?
interest. What?
Isn't it 15 even? I think it's 15.
Yeah, or 15. But I had not enough time, so I don't want it to run because I already know, okay, you lost already after not even starting. Yeah, then I never did that again.
Right, we're seeing those Agatsu patterns on Ursula's side that were very great. They were pretty bad.
this pattern especially.
Yeah, that Agatsu was super bad. Also, like you both have servers, but that Ursula went for that Vendor Bicky chest before killing Vicious, but those servers were kind of rude. Like
Yeah,
the whole lot of mire before getting to that chest. Like you one item for go mode, and your options are kind of bad, really bad. So you kind of have to commit to that second item in mire, and just servers after you kill the Vitreous.
and I tried to avoid Thieves Town, but then I went there because 3 items are there. I got the hammer.
Like, what was
Or
the
4 items with green pendant.
what was the decision? Is it because you didn't have the hammer? Because it was a pendant? Both of them? Like how did it go for you to make that decision to just leave?
Both of them. But also, I don't go there with only one of them. Yeah.
Like both of you, when you open your Dark World map, we're like,
Oh man. Fuck this game.
Like especially when you're mid for Dark World access and you have to take that portal into Village of Outcast, you're like,
Then the first 2 dungeons you can beat are pendants. Nice.
Right. Thanks Ursula for joining us. Even though he was in chat. GG's again. I mean, we were a bit ahead because of the delay, but you have a runner done for a few minutes already.
Yeah, thank you also for commentating, tracking, that you restream like every race here.
Not every races, but we're trying to restream.
Yeah,
as
but
many
a
as
lot,
possible.
man.
Yeah, that's
I was scrolling in my Twitch tab and was seeing there are 3 or 4 races in the same time on different channels. So it's very nice. Also the tourney and all the stuff playing together with your mate.
that league definitely like.
And I want to see your team, of course, in playoffs or something.
It's gonna be hard, you know who we're up against, right?
Yeah, I saw it. Unlucky.
All right, Ursula finishing with an official SRL time of 1:57:57. GG's,
Yeah,
Ursula.
GG's Ursula. That was a nasty seed, so like can't really say anything.
Yeah, I think it's one of those seeds where you'll easily see a lot of people get over 2 hours on it.
All right, Hitsu, any final thoughts on this race and like league overall? I guess.
Yeah, I said already a lot of things, so thank you again and have a nice evening, everyone, or day.
All right, guess fairly we're about to wrap this up, right?
Yep.
So gave our runners a follow already, like fairly type the comment earlier, but yeah, that's comment. Give Purdy Wong, my co-commentator, a follow as well. Also, thanks for our tracker today, Sigma6, for being with us, and thanks to Mori that does a lot of work behind the scene. I mean, he's been streaming that one, but he's doing a lot of work as well behind the scene. So a big shout out to him. And that's it for me. Birdie, anything you wanted to say?
All right. Yeah, I mean, if you enjoyed this race, go ahead and tune in for their rematch happening on Saturday. If you want to watch more league action today, I think there's a match in progress over on Speed Gaming 6 that's between Karnath and Fleck. So take a look at that. This is the start of the Ambrosia week, and it's already shaping up to be pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of games coming tomorrow as well. Not as many as today, but still a lot. I think we have like 12 or 13 today. I don't remember how many, but it was a lot. And we had a lot of pre-streams, so thanks also for everyone that have been joining us as viewers or our commentators and trackers and pre-streamers, obviously. Thanks everyone, and see you next time watching League again.
Bye.